welcome. My name is Neil Thrussell, and I'm really excited to have Dr. Diva Verdun with us. And she is the author of an upcoming book, and I absolutely love the title, The Feminine Code of Fire. And Dr. Diva empowers ambitious women to live their purpose and lead through personal mastery. I love that part, and to create fierce impact in their lives. Welcome, Dr. Diva.
Hey Neil, what's up? So glad to be here.
Yeah, I am too. This is actually the first time that we've actually been able to do a sit down, and it's terrible because I'd love to get to know you even more, but 20 minutes is like, oh my goodness, it's handshake and we're right into it.
Yeah.
So
We can talk
I'm
on the back end.
yeah. At we've got I'm going to ask you to think about a younger version of yourself, the high school, the junior high, the university, or the college version of you. And what did a much younger version of you think success was?
Uh, the younger version of me, I don't know if I ever really thought about success. Was a young person who was really struggling to find my own identity. Uh, so I don't think that I actually thought of success in that, as in the way that most people think of success, or even if I was really even thinking of success at that time, because I was having a lot of problems just figuring out who I was. Um, I was told, a lot by parents what I should decisions that I should be making, and you should be this when you go to college. You should study this when you go to college. You have to go to this college. Um, so many decisions were being made for me. I was afraid to just explore who I was, just trying to fit into the mold of what I guess my parents really thought being successful was. So I don't know if I really thought about success in that in any of those aspects outside of what the parental bubble was trying to force me into. Um, high school, college, and I fumbled around a lot after college because I still didn't know what I really wanted to do, or who I actually was. So that took me through a lot of trauma in my younger years because I was still trying to go through that process of just discovery, just trying to get my bearings.
And well, thank you. And at some point in time, the younger version of Diva said, this is good what I've done, or whatever words you use, but I want to go this way and
Uh,
change. Was it hard to go against, your parents love and know and or love you and want to support you and help you, but they've given you a direction that you were not wanting to go. Where did you find that courage to go
yeah, that
against that?
to go going against the grain of what your parents think that you should do is is really difficult. I I was always the black sheep in my family. I still am to this day. Interesting enough, my father thought that I should be studying to be a medical doctor, and I started off in pre med, and it was very boring because just the books was real. Being in the books was just really easy, but there was no fulfillment. So after tumbling around a lot in my life, and I finally stumbled on metaphysics, and it was very interesting because I was going through this whole personal development cycle then, and uh, I just kept taking courses after courses after courses until I wound up with a doctorate degree. And then they said, Diva, you can't take anything else because we don't have anything else for you to take. You just need to go. And from that point, it was okay. What can I do with this? And then I started looking at my life and how I was taking so long through my processes to figure out what I wanted to do for with my life. And so it came into a whole thing where success for me was really more about getting to know who I am as a person. Because once I came into the discovery, of who I am as a person and what I want and what I can define as my own parameters and boundaries, then I started um, putting together the direction that I wanted to go and getting the clarity that I needed in order for me to design and create a life that I wanted for myself. And that kind of evolved all into the code of fire. So coming out of the trauma, walking through the fire, and then getting an opportunity to really create your life because now you know what you want when you're on the other side of the fire. And so for me, that's the successful part was more about self discovery than anything else. And I know a lot of the mentors and coaches and even people that we all know, the greats, they all went through their own personal journey before they came into a concept of what they thought success was for themselves. A lot of people want to define success as financial wealth, but financial wealth is not it. It's actually spiritual wealth and emotional wealth that will create the financial wealth. And if you don't have the clarity to know who you are, you're never going to create the type of wealth that you really want in your life because you don't have personal wealth. You have no real understanding of who you are and what you want for your own experience.
Diva, what you're trying to tell me is I actually have to look at all my pimples and warts and figure out what it is that I want?
You got to look at the pimples and warts and figure out what caused them. Because the pimples and the warts are the symptom, and you want to find out what the cause is. So it goes back to living in cause rather than living in the effect. So if you're focused on the pimples and the warts, you're not gonna resolve the problem. You have to resolve the problem at the root. So you have to go deep to figure out what's causing the pimples and the warts.
And then and then it sounds like you actually want me to plan my life?
Yeah. Uh, well, they say without a plan, you fail, right? You fail to plan. You fail to plan, you failed life. Uh, so yeah, you do have to have a plan, and I think that for me, a lot of it comes with having the clarity to know what you want first. If you don't, and I didn't know what I wanted because I was being told what I should want, and it wasn't clicking for me from a soul level. It was like, well, this doesn't feel congruent with my soul. So if you don't have clarity on what you want, then you're not going to be able to create a plan. And for a long time, I was a person who didn't believe in setting goals. I didn't believe in having a plan because I didn't know what I needed to plan to go towards. So I was in basically in survival mode because my mindset was, well, I just got to get through this day. And I just got to get through this day. And in itself, that is success, just being able to get through a day. So depending on where your mindset is, um, when I coach people, I tell them you're successful from the very beginning of your whole creation because you came here as a sperm and as an egg, and that sperm had to fight a battle through millions and millions of other sperm to find you. So at the moment of conception, you were a winner from the egg. So you have always been successful. And somewhere along life, we tend to listen to a lot of feedback that can make us feel like we're not successful. But if you can go back to that very moment of conception, you were always a winner from the very egg because you came here as a winner. Going through the birth canal is a struggle, it's a process, and you're successful because you were born. Being here 1 year, 2 year, 3 year, you were successful because you were able to get to the next level. So success is not about accomplishing great wealth. It's about being able to understand that you're here on a journey to learn. And every day is an opportunity to learn more about yourself so that you can create the plan for the dream that you have for your own experience.
I'm like, you put together, wonderfully wove together like two or three of the questions that I normally have. So thank you. So let's just take a moment and let's look at whoever we pick, whoever you pick, is somebody that has achieved high level of success. Um, the in whatever field, a musician, a sports celebrity, an actor, a person of spiritual faith, whoever it is, what do you think that they're doing that the everyday person is not doing? What do you think is one thing that they're doing that helps them move them towards ultra success, uber successful, the pinnacle of success?
And again, it depends on what you're defining the pinnacle of success as. Um, it's like a conundrum, because everybody wants to define success by wealth and fame, and that's what the definition of success is. And I think that that's really unfair because it puts a lot of pressure on people that are still trying to find clarity. If you're still trying to find clarity, that's why I share that it's from the winner from the egg. It's not about the Grant Cardones and the Oprah Winfreys. It's really not, because their idea of success and how they got there is not going to be the pattern that's going to be for everyone, because it all starts with knowing who you are. Grant Cardone likes to tell his story about how he stumbled around until he was 35 years old and he was a drug addict. Okay, it wasn't until he discovered who he was and the meaning of that based on his own soul that he was able to start finding out what he was good at. Okay, and Oprah is the same. I mean, Oprah went through her own stuff, being overweight and being dark skinned black person trying to break into journalism. And she found something within her that said, hey, I'm worthy. I deserve this. This is what I want for myself. But it doesn't necessarily have to be being, a superstar, like, a musician or a famous author. You can be successful if your dream is just to have, a house and be married and have two children and a car in the garage. And if that's your idea of what success is for you, that's okay. Society should not be dictating to people what is successful based on achieving a certain level of wealth. If you have a lot of knowledge and you don't have a lot of wealth, you still are wealthy. So that's not really success. A person, I mean, saying you're in success just because you became a Grant Cardone or a Oprah Winfrey or any of the other celebrities that you want to name, which a lot of people are measuring themselves up against that. And for me, that's why I love my analogy that I like to share about being a winner from the egg. You are always successful. The level of what you want to achieve in your life, that is your passion. It has nothing to do with your level of success. That is your passion. Grant Cardone has a passion to empower other people to have wealth. That's his passion. Okay. Oprah has a passion to be able to share with people how they can open their mind and they can allow the universe to bless them on certain levels. That's a passion. Neil, you have a passion to share with people, what we're sharing. You're creating this
Absolutely.
whole book, Chasing Success, so that you can share with other people these concepts from different aspects of what other people are saying. That's your passion. Okay.
And I love that hidden in amongst all of that, the wonderful, passionate sharing you had. I think that you spoke very eloquently to it. That anyone to define success is everyone just needs to work on what it is that how they define it, and then move towards it, take small incremental steps to move towards it. And with when you had said that there's no knock to the person that wants the house, the car, and whatever, but if you don't know that and you don't own it personally, it's someone else's. But if you own it, and you like and not physically own it, but you embody it and say that that is mine and who I am,
Right.
then you've succeeded one step beyond the egg.
Yeah, well, it's really about growing into your birthright. Your
Yes,
birthright is all successful. That's the whole thing. And for me, it's about taking down the barriers for people that have been placed in our way that keeps us from finding the quote unquote success that we're looking for in our life. Success to most people is just being able to have somebody to love you. I mean, if you could just have somebody really love you, everybody wants somebody to love them. So you can have I don't, you care how much money you have, how much fame you have, you don't feel successful if you don't have anybody that loves you. But having somebody
absolutely.
to love you means being able to love yourself. And if you're not capable of feeling your own love, no amount of financial blessings is going to make you feel loved. And I don't care, or if a person has no health. If you have no health, these are things that are so basic and so universal because it's not about money. It's about finding the foundation of who you are as a person and having that clarity to know that purpose is only one thing, and that is discovery. Your purpose is not what you do. It's it's who you are. Your purpose is to be on the planet as a human being, which means a wise one, a wise person, learning how to uncover and discover what makes you happy. And that is the purpose of being on the planet. Everything else is passion. And if you can find out what makes you happy, you're going to achieve the monetary rewards that you seek. But if you're not finding out what makes you happy, you're not going to receive all of the success in all of the levels that you're looking for. You want health, wealth, and finance, not just one. You have to have all three so that you're balanced.
I love it. And I'm thinking I should have made this call with you at least an hour long as opposed to the 20 minutes because we are resonating on so many frequencies that I'm just absolutely loving what you're saying. But the downside is we've only got 20 minutes. So I'm like, it's not good. So is there something that you would like to leave our current listeners and our viewers and listeners on replay with? Some last bit of wisdom or sharing?
I think the last bit of wisdom that I would really like to drive home is that you're a winner from the egg, that your whole purpose for being is self discovery. That is your purpose for being on the planet. It is not your job, it is not what you do. Your purpose is self discovery so that you can find what it is that makes you happy. And then once you do that, from discovering all of the different things, if it's learning how to play piano or flying an airplane or building an empire, it doesn't matter. Those are your passions, and find a passion that continues to make you happy, and then you will find the success that you're looking for in your life.
Absolutely. So I want to thank you for taking the time. You had a very, very late evening last night because you were in a workshop. So thank you for getting up and being part of this program.
Thank you so much for having me. Anyone looking for me, you can just go to fierceimpact.com.
Okay, that's fierceimpact.com. So
Right.
thank you, Dr. Diva.
Thanks, Neil. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.